The true measure of a man. Sometimes, life presents moments that are not seen with the eyes but felt by the heart. Such moments teach us that a person's worth is not determined by their clothes, but by their character. It was 11:15 a.m., a regular bustling morning at a prominent branch of Rajasthani Gramin Bank in Udaipur, Rajasthan. The bank was filled with well-dressed clients in suits and busy staff members immersed in their tasks. In the midst of this busy atmosphere, an elderly man entered the bank. He was around 75 years old, with lines of experience etched on his face, eyes reflecting simplicity, and hands holding an old envelope. His name was Badri Prasad Meena. Dressed in a simple dhoti and kurta, his gait was slightly unsteady. As soon as he entered, several eyes turned toward him. Some looked at him with disdain, while others smirked, as if his presence had disrupted the prestigious environment of the bank. Badri Prasad walked quietly towards the customer assistance counter, where a woman named Kavita Rawal was seated. With gentle humility, he said, "Daughter, I am unable to make any transactions from my account. Could you please check what the issue is?" Without smiling, Kavita glanced at his clothes and replied, "Baba, I think you've come to the wrong bank. This branch deals with high-profile account holders. You should try somewhere else." Badri Prasad, maintaining his composure, softly said, "Perhaps, but could you check just once?" Reluctantly, Kavita took the envelope from him and said, "All right, but you'll have to wait." She directed him to the waiting area, where he quietly took a seat. A test of patience and dignity. Seated in a corner, Badri Prasad's face remained calm, but his eyes carried a hidden anxiety. Customers and staff continued to whisper, mocking his presence. "Doesn't look like a customer here," someone murmured. "Probably a beggar," another one sneered. Words that could break anyone's spirit, yet Badri Prasad sat silently, showing remarkable patience. A glimmer of compassion. Amid this indifference, a young employee named Randeep Chauhan noticed the elderly man. Something about the old man's eyes caught his attention, a warmth and humility that was hard to ignore. Randeep approached him and asked gently, "Baba, how long have you been waiting? Can I help you?" Badri Prasad smiled softly and replied, "Son, I needed to meet the manager. I told Kavita, but perhaps she's too busy." Without hesitation, Randeep promised, "Don't worry, Baba, I'll speak to the manager." The arrogance of power. Randeep went straight to the branch manager's cabin. Rajnish Singh, the branch manager, was an arrogant man who prioritized wealthy clients and ignored the rest. "Sir, an elderly customer wants to meet you." "He's been waiting for a while," Randeep said. Rajnish frowned and replied coldly, "Tell him to keep waiting. These types of people waste our time. If it was important, he would have taken an appointment." Randeep wanted to argue, but Rajnish dismissed him. The silent departure. Over an hour had passed. Badri Prasad's patience was waning. Finally, he stood up, picked up his walking stick, and walked straight to the manager's cabin. Rajnish saw him coming and intercepted him at the door. "Yes, Baba. What is it now?" "I'm very busy. Speak quickly." Badri Prasad calmly handed him the envelope. "Son, please take a look. Something is wrong with my account." Without even opening the envelope, Rajnish smirked. "When there's no money in the account, this happens. I'm sure your account has nothing left. Now please leave." Badri Prasad simply placed the envelope on the desk and said, "All right, son, I'm leaving. But do look at this envelope once." With that, he left the bank. A shocking revelation hours passed, and the envelope remained untouched on Rajnish's desk. Later in the afternoon, as the bank quieted down, Randeep noticed the envelope. He remembered the trust with which Badri Prasad had left it behind. Curious, he opened the envelope. As he read the first document, his eyes widened. By the time he read the second and third documents, his hands began to tremble. The documents revealed that Badri Prasad Meena was the largest shareholder of the bank, owning 60% of the shares. Moreover, he held a power of authority that granted him the right to make management decisions at the branch level. Randeep, unable to believe what he had just discovered, immediately verified the documents with the records department. Everything was true. The elderly man, whom everyone had mocked, was the true owner of the bank. A lesson for the arrogant Randeep quickly made copies of the documents and compiled them into a file. He went straight to Rajneesh Singh's cabin. "Sir, this is the file of the elderly customer you dismissed this morning," Randeep said firmly. Rajneesh, busy trying to impress a wealthy client, took the file with irritation. But as he began reading, his expression changed. His face turned pale, and his confidence vanished. How is this possible?" he muttered, his voice trembling. The client, noticing the change, asked, "Manager, is everything all right?" But Rajneesh had no answer. He was too stunned to speak. The return of Badri Prasad Meena. The next morning at exactly 11:15 a.m., Badri Prasad Meena returned to the bank. This time he was not alone. Beside him was Arvind Joshi, the zonal officer of the bank, dressed in a formal suit with a commanding presence. As they entered, the entire bank fell silent. Kavita, who had dismissed Badri Prasad the previous day, lowered her head in embarrassment. Rajneesh felt as if he had been plunged into icy water, his pulse racing. Without saying a word, Badri Prasad walked straight to Rajneesh's cabin. Rajneesh came out, trying to stop him. "Babaji, I apologize. I didn't know," he stammered. Badri Prasad replied in a calm yet firm tone, "Understanding is more important than knowing, son. Yesterday you judged me by my clothes and age. Now face the consequences." Justice delivered. Arvind Joshi stepped forward and handed Rajneesh a formal notice. "Rajneesh Singh, you are hereby relieved of your duties as branch manager. A transfer order has been issued, and you will be posted at a rural branch effective immediately." Silence engulfed the entire bank. Badri Prasad then turned to Randeep and said, "You understood the meaning of respect and responsibility. I want you to take over as the new branch manager." Randeep was stunned. "But Yes, you," Badri Prasad said with a gentle smile. "The bank needs people who value others, not by their appearance but by their character." Randeep's eyes welled up as the entire staff applauded his appointment. A new beginning. From that day, the bank was no longer just a financial institution. It became a symbol of respect and humanity. Customers were treated equally, whether they were farmers or businessmen, young or elderly. Kavita, who had once dismissed Badri Prasad, approached him with folded hands. "Babaji, please forgive me. I mistook your simplicity for weakness." With a kind smile, Badri Prasad replied, "Everyone makes mistakes, daughter. But if you learn from them, they become valuable lessons." A legacy of respect. Over time, Badri Prasad Meena continued to visit the bank, sometimes as a regular customer, sometimes as an ordinary man. His presence was a reminder that dignity should never be judged by appearance. Never judge a person by their clothes, age, or status. True identity lies in a person's values and behavior.